So, dude, you went from doing 100, 110 for the year to 146 in a week.
Yeah.
Before we got started, I started working together. Like you said, you were about to lose your house.
We didn't have money, bro, and I'm not making this story up. Like, we still have our foreclosure paperwork that we keep, and we look at and we're like, yeah, we're down to nothing, bro. We're pulling out loans and just trying to figure out a way to get money to continue paying for coaching that would hopefully work and help us switch our lives around. So that's where we were before joining Forward Media. We were at zero that belonged to ours, but maybe 4 or 5K that belonged to the bank, that we were investing in, not bills, not mortgage, not anything like that, and just into the company.
Dude, that's a huge testament to you of betting on yourself. Like, I know that when things like that happen, you can really have two options to go about it. You can just come to terms with it and be like, okay, this is where it's at. This is what's happening. We came this far. This is what we got to do. Or what you did, which is like freaking just go psychopath on it and just bet on yourself and go all in, dude, and just like. What's going on, guys? Lucas Jensen here, back with the Forward Thinking Podcast. Today, we got Manny Villegas with 47 Painting Incorporated out of California. Manny, dude, I know it's like 8 a.m. your time. You're saying you just watched your favorite soccer team, who's, not the favorite of many people, but I'll respect it. So you've been up early, dude. I'm just playing. How you doing, man?
Good. Again, super blessed to be able to be on this podcast. I see a lot of painters on here, and it was always the goal to be on here. And now, we're here. We're given the opportunity, so I'm super excited.
Dude, I'm so excited for this one, brother, because you shared at PaintCon such an incredible story, and it was such an emotional one. And you were this year's first Forward Media Millionaire Club Award winner. And the thing that I loved about it, we'll play the clip in the podcast, but last year at PaintCon 2024, when we were giving the awards, and at the end, you're like, man, get one of those plaques ready for me.
What's up? Better have my plaque ready, boy.
I got that Forward Media Millionaire Club plaque ready for you. And dude, that stuck with me, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people talk, a lot of people are like, leave events and they have all these big ideas and aspirations, but you've been someone who's just continuously showed up over and over and over and over and over. And dude, you freaking got one this year, man. So it was so awesome to play that video and present one and hear your story on stage with yourself and Patty. And dude, it's just been so incredible seeing your growth, man. But dude, I want to ask you, man, like right now you're doing, what are you ending 2025 off with in terms of revenue?
So we still have a couple of weeks, and I have a couple big projects still that are up in the air, that I'm pretty sure that we're going to get them. But to play it safe, we're going to get 1.5 this year.
1.5.
1.5.
Love it, dude. I love it.
I don't even
That's
believe
so sick. So dude, how'd you get into painting? Like what's like the backstory? Like how'd you was it like someone in your family was a painter, or like how'd you kind of go into it?
Yeah, I'm a kind of shorten the story because obviously everyone's story is super long, but I'm gonna just kind of give the highlights of it. I came from a background of working with mentally ill people. So I went from one day being someone that works with mental health, and then the next day my dad's brothers come from Florida, and they're like, "Hey, Manny, can you translate to help us get into a painting company, which was the union out here?" And I was like, yeah. They're like, we'll pay you your day. To me, it was a win. I was like, well, I'm just going to translate. They're going to pay me my day. I get there. And before I get there, as we're driving there, go, hey, Manny, well, how much do you win at the time? I was winning like $11.20 something. And they go, why don't you become a painter? We'll show you everything. And they just, got it in my head like, dude, you could be a painter. So once we get there, we do the interview. The guy's like, what do you guys know how to do? And then I turn around, I tell my uncles, like, hey, what do I know how to do? They're like, oh, tell them you know how to prep like this and this. Oh, well, I know how to prep like this. And then he goes, and how do you paint? And then I would turn around like, hey, how do we paint? And then they would tell me, well, they ended up liking us. They hired us 3 on the spot, and we started off with a $47 per hour wage. So I was like, oh, shit, like, yeah, like this is
47?
happening. Yeah. Oh, well, I hadn't even thought about that. But, yeah, it was $47 an hour. And then, so the first few weeks they had me grinding doors and stuff like that. And then the painting came. They're like, all right, Manny. They turned on this big gas rig for me at the company. They're like, it's all yours. And it's like, dude, I've never even painted with like a brush or a roll. Like, what the heck? And I remembered off a conversation with my uncles. They were like, "Hey, you're just gonna spray doors up and down, side to side." So I did just that, dude. And that day, I messed up so many doors. I ended up dropping one of my buckets with white paint on fresh new asphalt, and I felt like I was gonna get kicked out. This was 2 weeks in, and I was just like, I can't do this. So I came back home, joined another painting company as an apprentice. I started really liking it, really understanding, the back end of it, and really getting to know the principles of painting. And then I fell in love with it since then. And now, we just are looking to continue climbing up. When I was new in the painting company, I was an apprentice. Shortly after, I went into a painter, then in a leadership position. And now, long story short, we're here owning 47 painting, and we're just hungry, man. We're hungry to get more.
I love it, dude. I love it. So, okay, so you started as a painter, and the first job you landed was $47 an hour. So that's where I just pieced that together. That's where the company name came from.
No, no, no. Again, that's the first time I make it like really click. But no, that had nothing to do with the name. 47 painting. The 47 comes from me being an athlete back in the day. I was a big soccer athlete. I was known here in the area because of obviously, I was okay at soccer, but the 47 always stood out because at that time there was numbers 1 through 20, and then just a random 47 just floating around. So it would catch attention. Once I saw that, the soccer dream was practically over, I thought, okay, well, now we're into painting. How can I make it my own company? It's not just going to be last name painting. I want something
Yeah.
a little bit more unique. And I was like, what about 47 painting? I told Patty, and she's like, yeah, I think that could work. We sent it to get like the logo kind of worked on, and they sent back this logo, and they incorporated the four as a brush stroke and then the seven as a roller. I was like, dude, that works. And then once they presented it, I was like, yeah, I'm rocking with this one.
I love it, dude. I love it, man. That is so cool. Okay, so 47 was your soccer jersey number, and then you're like, I want to incorporate this. And do you find that the sports side of you, like the competitiveness, the team building, all that stuff, still shows up in the company at some points?
Oh, for sure, for sure. Everything that has to do with being an athlete. I mean, that's. I think that's why we're so successful here. Responsibility of getting there on time, performing when you need to. Estimates, whether it's at job sites, just making sure that you're there to perform. That competitiveness, not only with other companies, but within the teammates and yourselves. Like, hey, you know what? I could do this better. In a good way, right? Like you always wanna compete with your team. If someone knows how to spray a door with a fine finish, I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna spray it with a finer finish, and it's just that competitive of just getting better. And I feel like that's the
Yeah.
culture that we have here at 47 Painting.
Yeah, yeah, dude. I was just on a podcast with someone yesterday, and he came from like a football background, right? And I was telling him like, dude, some of the best business owners I know and the most successful business owners I know, at one point in their life, were a athlete that was like fully committed to their sport, And then now it's just you're doing the same thing basically, but it's for a business. And just like in any job, you've had great bosses, you had bad bosses, you've had great coaches in sports, you've had bad coaches, And
Yeah.
I think one of the beautiful things of coming from a sports background is you're not there to be a boss, you're there to be a coach and hold them accountable and kind of unleash their potential as much as possible and things like that and keep them competitive and keep that fire in them. So I think that's why there's that consistency in like athlete to business owner, and there's that competitiveness in there. So I love that you have that sports background, dude. So man, at what point did you say like soccer's not gonna like I'm not gonna make like the league, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna do this, but I still want like do you play still at all? Or is it like fully retired now?
I stopped playing. Yeah, I stopped playing. Oh yeah, I mean, on Google we have our little track record on there. I was up there, but it ended up starting to like die down after college. So I played college soccer, and then after senior year, it was kind of like, dang, like I got to figure something out. The career that I chose to pursue in college wasn't my favorite. I was just kind of doing it just to have the grades to continue playing soccer. So once I started seeing like, dang, this isn't gonna work out, I became just trying to figure out who I wanted to be. And luckily, that whole situation with my uncles happened. If that conversation of them trying to just like, hey, why don't you come into painting would have never happened, I would have been in a different place right now. I know that for a fact, but things happen for a reason. I'm a believer myself, so it happened that way because it had to happen that way. So now that I'm gone from the soccer scenarios, again, I kept a lot of the stuff that I learned from it here with me. So now, like, there's no hard conversations or anything like that because we had hard conversations while we were in playoffs, in a semifinal or something. Telling a specific person like, "Hey, I need you to do this." Now all of that just translates over here, and there's no pressure.
Hmm.
It's like these conversations become easier, leading becomes a little bit easier, and yeah, I think it's been a lot of learning lessons that I took from there that have helped shape not only me but 47 painting to be a place where people want to be.
I love that, dude. I love that. And how, like, does Patty work in the company right now? Because I see the stories that your guys are all together. Like, what's Patty's position in 47 painting right now? And like, what are you focusing on? Like, how do you guys split that?
Patty is the glue, bro. Patty, I got myself a phenomenal partner, and I get to call her my wife. Like she's amazing. So the cool thing, because without you really knowing it, you're like one of the biggest reasons why we make big moves here at 47 Painting. So we go the first year, it was like, okay, hey, you better have that plaque ready for me, boy, And then now I committed to that. So now when I come back, it's like, okay, I'm gonna get that plaque. You could ask Patty. We talked about it every month, like, hey, we're getting closer. We're getting closer to that, that $7 million figure. 7 million, sorry, that seven figure award, right? So it was like we're getting closer, we're getting closer. This year, I don't know if you remember, I went up there and you asked like, oh, what's your guys' target for next year? And I was at 1.7, and when the mic starts getting closer to me, Patty grabs it and she goes 2.5, and so I'm like, oh snap! Like it was cool. It was cool because he's holding us and putting us to a higher goal, which means that we're gonna have to work harder. But from once she said 2.5 on the way back, I was like, hey, like, do you believe we can do 2.5? She's like, yeah, we could do 2.5. I'm gonna lock in the office. So then she took over the office position. 2026, she's gonna be fully locked in. This last few weeks since PaintCon, she's been fully locked in. We've seen more customer reviews. We've seen better performance from the guys because she's just checking in. And our supervisor, project manager, he's hasn't been struggling as much because they're working together and it's just been great. So Patty,
Dude, I love that, man.
in short words, Patty is taking over the office 100% for 2026 to help us reach that 2.5 goal.
Dude, I love that. I love that. You got a she's got that hunger in her, huh?
Yeah, it looks like it. Again, I was at 1.7. I was like, all right, 1.7 is fair. And she just said 2.5, and I was like, all right, you say 2.5, now I have to hit it. Or else is gonna hit somewhere in my ego, like, damn, you couldn't hit 2.5 for her.
Yeah, dude. And look, now we got that whole thing recorded. So we're going to have that 2.5 so that next year, bro, you step on stage, we're going to have that 2.5 or more. So we got, man, I'm a big believer in that. Like, obviously like awards are so nice, but I'm a big believer in like that competition, right? So I'm like, how can we incorporate more competitiveness into like our clients and keep that fire going like you and Patty have, right? So what we're doing, dude, this year is the first person that gets to 1 million out of everything, we're doing like this kind of, we're trying to like make it into more of like a tradition, right? So we have like this custom UFC belt that we created. So we're doing like the Ford Media Millionaire plaques and things like that, and we're adding in a 5 million one and a 10 million one now too, because like our clients are like, pushing that, right? So we're like, okay, we gotta keep that going. And then what we're doing is the first person that gets to 1 million, we're giving them like this UFC style belt that's like
Yes.
all like custom branded and things like that. And we're gonna make it into like this little like fun thing, dude. So it's super super cool, man. And I love that you put your mind to something and you hit it and you held yourself accountable to it every single month and you kept striving and striving and striving. So, dude, when you guys finally hit it, what was that moment like?
And it was unbelievable. I remember we went out for a dinner. We had seen the numbers, and it was just like, can you believe this? It leaves you speechless. It almost. I remember that day. I was telling you, I was feeling all like shaky and stuff. I was like, can you believe this? Like we went from practically losing our home just a year before, no, it was 2 years before this, and now we're here with the company that just hit, those numbers. And yes, that's not all for the company to keep. We all know that, but it's just super cool to know that, hey, we were able to do this, and we weren't killing ourselves either. It wasn't like something where we were like 24 hours a day. Yes, we're working a lot, but it wasn't like nothing crazy, and we're able to hit that. So Patty was super happy. We're, on the same page, and that's what's been helping us hit those numbers that, as a family, we're 47 painting. We live 47 painting, and that's just the way that it goes. So that gives me the confidence to say, like, when she says 2.5, I'm like, okay, if she's with it, she sees everything that's tied into getting 1 million, and she's confident about getting 2.5, then I'm rocking with you, and we're going to do our best to get there.
Yeah, dude. And you guys just came off what was it? You said $146,000 a week?
Yeah. The biggest week we've had at 47 painting. Yeah.
That's insane, man. So when we were, because you were saying like you were down to your last before we got started together. You were down to your last, was it $4,000? Right?
Before we
That's what we
started
were
with
saying. Yeah. Like before we got started, I started working together. Like you said, you were about to lose your house. I believe you said you were. I think you mentioned like you were down to
we
your
were
last
in
like
that
couple.
no, we were in that we actually we didn't like have like money, bro, and I'm not making this story up. Like we still have our foreclosure paperwork that we keep, and we look at and we're like, damn. But what happened was we started pulling out loans and credit cards to be able to pay uh, coaches to be able to help us. And then, uh, can I shout him out on here?
Yeah, yeah.
So Pain Pro Aiden, he's the one that changed our lives. We invested with him when we didn't have any money. We were basically choosing to pay him over paying our home, and then it ended up working out because he connected us with Forward Media, and then Forward Media, just skyrocketed our company and completely switched our life around. So, yeah, we're down to nothing, bro. We're pulling out loans and just trying to figure out a way to get money to continue paying for coaching that would hopefully work and help us switch our lives around. So that's where we were before joining Forward Media. We were at zero that belonged to ours, but maybe 4 or 5K that belonged to the bank, that we were investing in, not bills, not mortgage, not anything like that, and just into the company.
I love that, dude. I love that, man. That's so powerful. And dude, that's a huge testament to you of betting on yourself. Like I know that when things like that happen, you can really have two options to go about it. You can just come to terms with it and be like, okay, this is where it's at. This is what's happening. We came this far. This is what we got to do. Or what you did, which is like freaking just go psychopath on it and just bet
Yeah.
on yourself and go all in, dude. And just like, dude, I just love that story, man. I freaking love that story. And dude, in terms of revenue, what were you guys at when we got kickstarted? It was just like around the $100,000 mark.
Yeah, it was. I'd say it was safe to say like 110, 120, something like that. Nothing
Yeah.
for
So
I mean, I had never even looked at numbers like that, ever. So I can't tell you like a for sure number, but I think that it would be safe to say 100, 110.
So, dude, you went from doing 100, for the year to 146 in a week.
Yeah,
That's insane.
yeah. No,
That's so crazy,
we're,
dude.
we're celebrating last week because again, these to we're all in different stages of our business, and to other businesses it might be like, oh look, they barely hit that. But for me it's like, oh my god, like this is possible. It feels good, but now we want more. You know what I mean? And not being ambitious in a bad way, but just knowing that, like, okay, that competitiveness that we were talking about, like, oh, if I reach this, now I could reach more, and once I get there, I'm gonna experience the same feeling again, and then it's gonna make me want more, and just
Mhm.
continuing to elevate the company, and it's gonna allow us to continue blessing other people with work, and it's just a chain. We get blessed,
Yeah.
we bless the next ones, they bless the next ones, and then we're all winning at the same time. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that, dude, because it's like as you continuously grow, so does your standards and your measuring sticks, right? Like because there was a saying out there. It's like I think it was Alex Hermosi was talking about the measuring stick of people, right? So when someone says, "Oh, what does this cost?" and you're like, "Oh, it's five," right? Is that $5? Is that $500? Is that $5,000? Is that what? It just keeps going, right? And it's as like the success keeps going, so does that measuring stick, and then you start measuring things in terms of, instead of dollars, it's in terms of thousands, and instead of thousands, it's in terms of 10,000. And it keeps just scaling like that. And as you continuously grow, you keep setting that standard and keep setting that new standard, right? So it's like now you're doing 1.5 this year. It's like that is the new standard of 47 painting at the minimum. And now next year, if you're like not at 1.5, you're going to be hard on yourself, right? So you're going to keep scaling, and then you're going to get to that 2.5. And then the year after that, it's like 2.5 is the new standard. You just keep pushing that bar, and that comes from the aspect of you're proud, but you're never satisfied,
exactly,
right? So,
that's the
and
best
that comes from,
line about it. Yeah, proud but not satisfied. You know,
exactly,
um,
exactly. Like I love the growth we've had. I'm so proud of it, but we're not done here, and we're just going to keep freaking pushing the bar. So what are some things that you're incorporating into 2026 to go from that 1.5 to that 2.5?
yeah. So again, PaintCon, and this isn't to throw you like flowers right now that you're on here. I've said this. I said it on Joel's podcast, or in Joel and Aiden's. PaintCon really has something, bro, where it's like you leave from there with so much energy, and you leave with a lot of ideas. And it's easy to feel that way when you're there, right? You're there, you're pumped up, you get all these great speakers, and but it's what you do with those ideas and that energy after, because you let a week pass and you didn't move on the ideas that you had and that energy that you had, and it dies down, and then there goes another year without you making any moves on the company. With us, Patty said 2.5 is stuck with us, and we're like, all right, what do we need on the way home? We actually drove out there to Arizona, so it was a nice little drive back. And as we're speaking, we're like, all right, what do we got to do to make sure that we could hit that 2.5? Well, we need to make sure we get a shop first. So we full on invested in a shop, which is the one that you guys have been seeing online. Super proud of that shop. Again, it's nothing crazy huge, but for me, it's a big move. It's like, dang, that's like another big payment that we're gonna have to do. But we're invested in it because it's gonna make us look. It's gonna give us the image of being more professional. It's gonna be like, oh snap, like Seven Painting has an actual shop. So that was one of the big moves that we did. Another big move, we said, hey, we're gonna invest on the epoxy. We started having meetings with Forward Media. We invested in epoxy, which has already turned out to be great. Like they already started working a lot here in our area. And so it's just making moves like that, getting that energy, getting those ideas, and saying like, nah, we got to put them to action. If they don't work, then we'll at least know that we tried. But that's one
Mm-hmm.
big thing about me and Patty, and here at 47 Painting, is that it's like, hey, should we invest in this? Yeah, I agree. Okay, let's do it. Boom. If we win, we win, and that's good. If we lose, it was a lesson, and we learned.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, dude. And there's, when it comes to growing, there's really three big levers to pull. Do more of what you're currently doing, offer more to the current audience that you're currently selling to, or offer the same stuff to a new audience, right? So there's like, I know we added epoxy for you, and the beautiful thing about that is you can now turn one lead into two sales, right? You can do well, you always have that opportunity with like upsells and things like that, but at the end of the day, it's like concrete coating, the sales process for concrete coating is so similar to painting. And the beautiful thing about concrete coating and epoxy is there are a lot less competitors than there is in painting, just because it's a higher barrier of entry, right? With painting, like what's the overhead that you really need to get started? Paintbrush,
Yeah.
bucket of paint, all that stuff, right? Whereas with epoxy, it's like you need all this machinery and you need all these different things. And like, so the overhead to get started is naturally higher than painting, which means in a market, there's less competitors. And if you're selling painting already to a customer and you do a great job, I mean, if they want concrete coating, why wouldn't they go with a company that's already there and they already trust and they already like and everything like that, you know? So, dude, I think it's a beautiful, beautiful thing that you're doing that. Now, how are you working your current customer list to like let them know that you're offering epoxy now, and if they want to schedule with you, like do this, or are you just kind of going after like a new audience with the ads? Hey, real quick, before we get back into the video, if you are running a painting, an epoxy, or a concrete coating business, and you're saying to yourself right now, Lucas, I am done playing it small. Lucas, I am hungry and I'm ready to grow and I'm ready to scale my business this year, then listen up. If you want my team and I to help you fix that, if you want more qualified leads into your sales pipeline, if you want more high intent appointments into your sales calendar, and if you want more high ticket jobs, shoot me a quick text at 602-833-5079, and I will personally reach out and set up a game plan to help you turn your yearly revenue into your monthly revenue and help you dominate and scale your business right now. I hope you're enjoying the video so far. I appreciate you tuning in, and I look forward to helping you scale your business this year. Let's go.
Well, to be honest, I haven't reached out, but that's a great idea. To send them like an email saying like, hey, we offer epoxies in our services. But to be honest with you, the majority, my goal is always the online presence, right? Like Instagram and stuff like that. So they see that we offer all of those services, including the concrete coatings, because every time that we're done with the job, I have them follow my page on Instagram. So I have them on our CRM on Drip Jobs, and then I also have them on Instagram or Facebook. So they're always keeping up with our stuff, and it's a good way because maybe they were thinking about getting their cabinets painting after we did their concrete coatings, and then I'm consistently painting cabinets, and they're kind of like, "Hey Manny, can you come give me a quote?" And then that's when the fun begins. But yeah, I mean, I think my clientele knows that we do those services, but it's not a bad idea to send like a big email letting people know, hey, epoxy is now officially within 47 painting.
Yeah, and tie an incentive to that, right? Be like, since you're already a current customer, we're offering 20% off or whatever for all existing customers of 47 painting, yada yada yada. So it's like just like that, you could start sparking interest, start fine tuning the sales process, things like that, and testing out without actually paying for marketing because it's an existing client. So 100% work that database. And dude, I love that you're pushing them to a platform where it's like an owned audience, right? So when it comes to marketing, you can either pay for the audience, you can pay for someone that owns an audience, like using an influencer, whatever, or you can own the audience. Owning the audience is the ultimate goal because then your cost of marketing is reduced when you're posting stories of like, hey, we have 3 open spots for appointments this week, boom, filled, right? So I love that you're pushing them to those platforms, and especially as you continually start scaling and adding on more services, or even like keeping people keeping 47 painting top of mind when you're doing all these social media posts is such a huge play. So are you guys going to be starting to like down the line, are you going to like transition to even more services, or are you just going to like just nail painting and epoxy and just start expanding the audience? Like what's like the end goal for 47 painting?
To be honest, this is a conversation that me and Patty have been having. But I don't want to try to grasp too big of a different services and then be lacking, efficiency on each of them. I think right now where we're at with the painting, we're getting our company to understand that it's quality. Like our slogan says, the quality you deserve, and I feel like they're finally understanding that. And I don't want to bring on more right now until I have my full team that says like, hey, this is the 47 painting way, and we're not going to change it. I don't want them saying like, oh no, tomorrow I have to do a bathroom, and then now they have construction in their head, and oh no, tomorrow I have to do floors, and like it just kind of throws off the momentum that they're having with the painting. Yes, I could get a different crew to do other services, but then at that point, it's investing all of the energy in there, and that's where things could get messy with the painting side because now you're letting go of responsibilities of watching over them and stuff. So I think in short, I think we're just gonna stick with the painting. If anything down the line changes to where general contracting or anything like that comes into play, then maybe we could visit that. But I don't think I want to get anything bigger than what we're doing, except like in numbers wise. Of course, here we want to continue to scale, But I don't think I want to like invest in anything else. So painting really
Yep.
stuck with me, and I identify with painting and the culture that there is. I like it, so I don't want to kind of open up or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm with you. You know, like so many people ask why doesn't Ford Media service plumbers and electricians and all this other stuff, and I'm like, because I'd rather specialize in like a few industries and just get like really good at it and have a team fully trained and they know all the vocabulary, the margins, like all the information about that industry, and they're just fully dialed in on that industry. And then we can start adding in more, right? Like we went into concrete coating, and then
Yeah.
like some of our clients offer flooring, and we do that for them too, right? So it's just like little branches rather than going full like general contractor mode and just like offering anything to anyone. It's like, I don't want that. I want to be specialized. I don't want our team fully dialed. I want to build the best team possible and serve our clients to the highest capacity possible in that specific service. So yeah, I love that you take that mindset too.
Yeah, we gotta be really good at one thing before we jump onto other things. That's
Yeah,
always
dude.
been my motto too.
Nail it before you scale it, man. Nail it before you scale it. So yeah, dude. 2.5 is the goal. Now, let me ask you this: like, why was 1.7 the initial goal? Like, why did that number stand out to you? And then why does 2.5 now stand out to you?
I think 1.7 it was me playing it safe, but not playing it safe because this year's goal was 1.2, right? And then come November we were like at 1.3. Um, at PaintCon we're at 1.3. So I was like, only $400,000 more. Like that's doable. We just have to, go a little bit harder with what we're investing in with door to door. And that was another big thing that I started seeing that a lot of companies do, and we don't do that. So maybe that's something that we incorporate. But just figuring it out, I was like 400,000. There's ways to get there. 2.5 is a way bigger leap than 1.7. So when we were at 1.3, 1.7 sounded right. Now we're finishing off the year at 1.5, which is closer to that 1.7 in just basically a month and a half since PaintCon. And I'm like, okay, there's a lot of possibilities we could get to that 2.5. So yeah, that's what made me more comfortable now that we're finishing off the year with a very different number than we were at PaintCon. So it's possible.
Yeah, I got this gut feeling you're going to finish closer to 3 million next year.
Uh,
I
oh
think
God,
you're going to blow that 2.5 out of the water, dude. I got this gut feeling.
yeah, God willing, we're gonna do everything on our end to make it happen. And again, this is not it's not greed; it's just a goal. For me, it's crushing the goals always makes you feel a certain way. You're like, damn, like you sit down and you reflect. Yesterday, after we had our company Christmas party, me and Patty literally sat down and we're just like done for the day, but just super super happy and excited that we're able to put that on. And I want that type of feeling because after every moment of success, me and Patty are able to connect and bond. And I feel like it even makes our relationship a little bit stronger. So I think if we end up getting to 2.5, it's just like, dang, like we did this together, like, and then it's another not only company goal but relationship goal, and then we increase it for next year, and it's a relationship goal and a company goal. So it just strengthens the family, it strengthens the company, and it's a win-win for me.
Yeah, yeah, I love that, dude. You can tell like you're super passionate about building the team and doing the right thing. And I know that you we were talking a little bit before the podcast about like you did the giveaway for the cabinets and things like that, and you presented it to the team, and that feeling of like them understanding and having that like level of fulfillment, I feel is like very rewarding for you as an individual. Like I don't know what you have you done a disc profile before?
I did one as a when I was a painter in the previous painting company before I got to like a
Okay.
leadership position. They make you do these disc assessments to see if maybe, but I never really understood it. But I guess I did okay since I got a van and a crew. So I'm guessing I
Yeah.
did okay.
Yeah, yeah, I love it, dude. And the thing I love about that is we use that for our whole like hiring process, is because the disc assessment is really really powerful because it's the psychology around what makes a person do what they're currently doing or want to do and things like that, and it's just like how people have different senses of motivation, right? Some people want more stability, they just need a paycheck that just covers the stuff they have and they're fully happy. Other people are more financially motivated where they want to grow and more and more and more and build, right? So dude, for me I'm in the same boat of like I love gathering a community. I love the sense of impact, and I love that feeling of like giving back to everyone, you know? And I love that you had your team together in your office. I know you said that that was the first time, and all you were missing was one painter out of everyone. And I feel like if I were to put myself in your shoes, seeing the whole team together like that must have been a pretty rewarding feeling for you, hey?
Yeah, and again, it goes back to it ties back up with PaintCon, right? With the PaintCon, you're able to see these speakers and how you guys handle yourselves up there and talk and don't even look nervous or anything like that. So that was my goal. I told Patty, I was like, I hope I don't look awkward up there. It's my first time speaking in front of, that was the biggest crowd that I've spoken in front of. But it felt comfortable. After a while, I was like, nah, dude, like if they could do it, I can do it too. And this is my audience over there. You guys are speaking in front of people that barely even know you guys. Over here, these guys already know me through their families. Their wives already hear them talk about me and Patty. So I was like, it's going to be comfortable. I was able to speak in front of there. We had everything recorded. I sat down with Patty yesterday. I looked at it. The speeches came out good. And I was like, good. Like, I think we killed it. Like, it was good. And so it
Yeah.
makes you be a little bit more confident speaking in front of bigger audiences. And, who knows? Maybe one day we're speaking right there with paint on. Who knows? Down 10, 15 years. Who knows?
I'm ready. I'm ready if you are, bro. I think we're going to shorten that time frame. It's going to be less than 10, 15 years.
We'll have to continue preparing for it. Obviously, you guys, it comes naturally. For me, it's still, transitioning from a leadership position to being a speaker. There's a big difference there, but it's not something that I would be opposed to.
I love it, dude. I love it. Yeah, man. Speaking like public speaking, it's one of those things where when you're doing it, you second guess what you say so many times. You know what I mean? Like you're like, oh, did I say that? Like, oh, it sounds so stupid. And then you watch the replay and you're like, that actually sounded pretty good. It's one of those things like you just gotta rip. But I love public speaking, dude. Like it gives you adrenaline like no other feeling. Like after you speak in front of a crowd, you're like on fire, you know?
What happens is once you're able to speak like that, in front of people, and I've noticed this, once you're able to speak in front of people and you get comfortable with it, you get a certain energy. Like you guys come in with a certain energy, and it's like, dang, like that's cool. But then you transition over to go do a sell with just one person, it just becomes so freaking easy. It's like, dude, oh, it's just me and you. Like, oh, I'm crushing this one. I just
Yeah.
spoke in front of 35 people, and got smiles on their faces, got them to clap and side with me. Now when I go do one sell, it's like right now I'm fired up. Tomorrow I'll go do an estimate, and it's gonna be like, oh, I'm just going up against one person today. Yesterday I was up against 35. So the conversations, the energy is gonna be there, and it just helps close the deal.
Yeah, yeah, dude. Public speaking, like, is like just the empowerment and the sense of leadership that when they see their coach, their owner, their leader, whatever, in front of them, and they leave feeling motivated, man, it just does insane amounts of God's work, dude. Like, it's so beautiful, dude. And like you were saying, it's like at PaintCon when there's like whatever 300 plus people, and you're speaking there, when you're having those like 1 to 5s or like 1 to 10s or even 1 to 1s, it's like, oh,
Yeah,
no problem. No
it's
problem. But dude, I love that. So, man, let me ask you, Manny. You've built this thing from the ground up, and you're talking about you still have your foreclosure paper. You still reference that, and I love that. And I want to ask you though, like, what's like the real reason you do what you do? Like, why are you always pushing? Like, why are you moving the needle? Like, why are you trying to hit that 2.5? Why are you going for that 5 million the year after, or the 10 million the year after? Like, what's your why? Like, what's the purpose behind what you do? What you do?
So the why behind it is because I've noticed the change in lifestyle. Right, we don't live a fancy like a fancy luxurious lifestyle, but we live a comfortable lifestyle where we're able to always be together in reference to me and my kids and my family. So on a random Tuesday, we're out there, drinking a Starbucks at 9 a.m. together as a family, and then we get to, just visit parks and having play, and they're super happy. I post videos of my kids, having fun on our Instagram because to me, that's my why. Seeing Patty happy to be able to homeschool, our kids, which is for us is a big thing. Back then, I was kind of opposed to it, but now that I'm able to keep them here and teach them actual lessons, and they're always just kind of listening to what me and Patty are saying here at home. You'll hear my little kids grab one of those little cash registers from Target, the little play toys, and they'll be like, "Hey Diego, you have an estimate tomorrow painting," and it's like, and I kid you not, they're picking up on little things. My daughter, you'll hear her say like, "Oh yeah, is it interior? Is it exterior?" Dude, what little kid says this? You know what I mean? Like,
Dude,
so
that's so cute.
I'm understanding that they're picking up on little values, and they're getting a little bit of knowledge of business that they're not going to learn in school, you know, and that's a different topic. But for my specific situation, I'm able to keep my kids close. We're all having fun as a family. Every day's another day of family. We don't have to wait till the weekends to experience that. And again, that's a blessing. But we're also able to unknowingly teach them things that are going to help them for the future along the way. You know, their verbiage, their confidence of being able to speak with people. You see my little kids, and they'll go up to other kids and start conversating with them without being like that shy person. And I feel like that comes from them seeing how we carry ourselves and stuff. So the why is because they're picking up on this. We're spending more family time together, and we're building a business at the same time that's helping other painters in the area lead their own families. And again, at the end of the day, it's about your family.
100%, dude. 100%. Yeah, I love that, man. That must be so cute when you hear them like
Oh, bro,
it's appointment setting. That's so
it's a
funny.
blessing, bro. What happens is
Yeah.
before we have the shop, obviously we haven't fully moved into the shop. We use this bedroom as our shop. We have our desk, we have our setup, but on the other side of this bedroom, directly across, is my daughter's playroom. So my daughter and my son are in there playing while we're over here working, and Patty's doing the calls. So they could hear everything. The walls, I mean, everything goes through the walls. So they're able to pick up on these little things, and they'll have that little cash register to pretend that it's the laptop, and then the little scanning machine from Target, they pretend it's the phone. So they'll be like, "Oh, is it exterior today? Is it interior?" And it's just like, "Hey, do you hear that? Yeah, they're playing. They're picking up, playing what we're doing. You know." So it's a blessing.
Yeah, yeah, dude. It's all about they just replicate, right? I mean, I don't have kids, but I have a lot of friends that have kids, and even at PaintCon, like during the group workout when Evan Macklin brought his son up onto the truck, and he just said the core values that they have at home. I was like, dude, that is so cute, man.
Super dope. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, dude, I love that, man. So after PaintCon, you got a ton of momentum. You kept taking action because, dude, it's 100% like what you were saying is like you have that fire in you and you want to capitalize on that fire. Like Andy Elliott, I don't know how much you know about his backstory, but basically when he moved from Oklahoma to Arizona, the reason that they did that was because he went to this convention and he had that fire in his eyes, and his wife Jacqueline was like, "All right, let's sell the house, let's move, let's build this thing," and it just like boom, just transpired into this $100 million company that they have today, all because of that decision to bet on themselves and follow the momentum and take action after the event with that fire that you and Patty have. So, dude, I love that, man. So you got the new service offering, you got the new shop, which congratulations, by the way, it looks amazing. Dude, you're ripping more podcasts, you're doing all these great things, you're filming more ads, you're getting out there, you're just building yourself as a leader and as an authority in the painting industry, dude. And I love seeing all your growth. So let me ask you this, dude. Back when you started this thing, okay? If you could tell your younger self one single piece of advice, what would that advice be?
I think the best advice that I could give myself would definitely be like, dude, it's not all about you. You know, me, I've always, since I started this painting journey, it was about learning and learning and learning. And then it got to that leadership position where it's like, I have the best finishes, I have the best, rolling and cutting, and I took that with me. So when I came and I opened up my company, I was with that mentality, and it was always like, all right, now I'm gonna hire people that are gonna help me, but I'm gonna do the finishes because people love my finishes. But I was
Mhm.
wearing and tearing myself out. And instead of working on the business where I could hire people that can, do the work maybe even better, and now they're proving to do it even better, So we would have scaled a lot earlier if it wasn't for that mentality of like, nah, I got to do it because I can't trust other people to do it. Trust became a big factor. I started working with Joel. So shout out Joel. He helped me stop all of those mind blocks where it's like, no, Manny, you're the one that has to do it because you're the best painter. We all think we're the best painter. It's not. It's not like that. You know, if you focus on your business and actually scaling your business, you're gonna find people that are gonna come and do quality work along the way, and it's gonna help you scale. So that first, I'd say, year and a half that I started painting, I wasn't scaling. We were only 3 to 4 painters because I couldn't have anyone leading jobs because it had to be me. But now that I was able to kind of get out of that mentality, our team has grown. We're 14 painters in, and life's good, man. Everything's good. So my advice would
I
just
love
be,
it, dude.
don't think that you're the best at everything. Get help, and you'll see how you can scale.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man. I was saying that the other day too. It's like there's parts of your business that you're doing right now that you genuinely do not enjoy, but there are people out there that do enjoy that aspect of the business, and they'll do it freaking 10 times better than you ever could. And for us, it's like hiring, right? Dude, I despise interviewing people because, like, man, Christina always tells me, she's like, you're a terrible judge of character because you always look for the good in people, and sometimes when there's red flags, you're just so focused on the good and the all that stuff. She's like, but like you gotta like you need like the firm data. You need like that side of it. I'm just like, dude, like I love like the underdogs. I
Yeah,
love like just the people with the kind hearts. I always look for the good. And dude, I'm not the best at interviewing. I'm not, because I genuinely don't really enjoy it too much. I love connecting with people and things like that. But when it comes to hiring and all those decisions, that's something I recently delegated. And dude, oh my gosh, we got a killer in the position of like talent acquisition. So they're like actively always out there hiring, poaching from, all these companies, and just like, dude, just bringing the rock star team to us. Right. And I love that. So, if there's an aspect in your business that is necessary, but you do not enjoy it, find someone that is really, really good at that spot and only focus on that spot, and that area of the business will just freaking grow. So, I love
that's
that, man.
that's another thing that we're maybe planning for 2026. It's still kind of up in the air with the sales, right? Now we're at. I used to be like that with the painting. Now I'm very picky about bringing someone on for the sales. But I know if I could get 2 or 3 people that can sell, like I say, like 75%, 80% of what we're selling, we're multiplying our business times 3. Instead of just me trying to do it by myself. So that's something that I do have in my mind as a goal to maybe at mid-year to end of the year incorporating some salespeople. But that's going to be the next move to make sure that 47 painting is continuing on the right path.
Yeah, yeah, and dude, those are two things that I've found are one of the hardest for people to get off of, is the production, like getting off the tools, and then getting off the sales, right? Because like production, because we care so much about the quality, we want to ensure we're delivering what we promised to clients, so on and so forth. And then the sales is because like, dude, now I built the production team. I have all these people working for me. I need to make sure that they always have the sales coming in. And if someone doesn't step in that's as good as me, the company's going to go bankrupt. Well, it's like, dude, if you could find someone who's even 80% as good as you, or 2 people that are 80% as good as you just double the amount of appointments on the calendar. And if they're only focusing on sales, at one point or another, they will become better than you. Because as a owner, dude, you're going to show up to a quote, there's going to be a fire going on a job site, or all these other things that are just like getting in your head, and you're not showing up 100% with that client, and they could kind of feel that. Or that maybe cash flow's tight this week and payroll's coming up. Today's Thursday, payroll's tomorrow. It's like, I need this job. And there's that sense of urgency that like that, or that sense of, I guess, like commission breath almost in the sale that the customer feels, right?
Yeah.
Whereas a sales rep who that really has nothing to do with like the cash flow of the business or anything. It's like they don't have that like pressure on them as much, so they can just show up and execute and perform and sell the job, and they're only rewarded obviously when there's a sale, right? So it's like those two things, dude, getting off production and getting off sales, are some of the hardest mental obstacles to get over. But speaking firsthand, once I got off the sales, the business just blew up, right? Because you have someone dedicated in that spot. They're just a freaking beast in that spot.
Yeah, it's all about finding like the right people and put them in the right seats, and letting them do the work. Again, I haven't seen the production side of it for like the last week and a half. When we came back from PaintCon, I decided, you know what, maybe I'm gonna take over production and sales. I have some time, dude. It was killing me. Like it was literally like just taking over my life. I would take off to set people up with material and stuff at 6 a.m. and then I'd be finishing up my last estimate in Fresno at 7 and getting back home at 8. And it was just kind of like, yeah, I can't do this. So we restructured the business. We put people again in the positions that they need to be. And again, we're having more time to do more stuff now. So um, being, if I'm doing the sales, I need to make sure, like you said, that I'm not having other things in my head. Because if not, by the time I get to the sales, the energy isn't there. And there's a certain energy
Yeah.
you get there, first estimate of the day. You're getting there, you just had your coffee, you're ready to go. You're explaining everything really good. Versus one after you talked with crews, got them in trouble. I don't know, had a conversation with the customer that didn't go the right way, and now you're just kind of getting to the customer that you're going to do the sell to, and you're already kind of like almost defeated, if that makes sense. You're kind of, your energy is
Yep.
low. Maybe you're not explaining things into depth as you should, and it just helps you lose that sell. So I'm big on that. I'm putting people in the right seats. I finally understand that I'm not going to be the best painter. There's a lot of good painters out there. I'm not going to be the best salesperson. I'm not even going to be the best owner of the company. There's going to be someone that's going to come and say, "Hey, Manny, I can structure your stuff, and I could do it a lot better, and we could, progress." And maybe that's a decision we take in the long run. But for now, I think the next step for 47 Painting is going to be getting some salespeople in here and helping us, really elevate the company.
I love it, dude. Yeah, and when you're looking for salespeople, um, dude, find people that are extremely competitive and focus on self development, like people that are waking up early and going to the gym, people that play sports, right? People that are just naturally more focused on bettering themselves, but also extremely competitive, and bring on two so that they're kind of competing with themselves, and you could like see like is one outperforming the other, yada yada yada, and dude, you're gonna find some crushers, and you're gonna be like, holy smokes, man, 2.5. It's like we got 3 million in the bag next year
God
for
willing,
sure.
we're gonna be pushing for that. Yeah, getting the right people and healthy competition. Again, it goes back to that healthy competition stems off of the sports. You're a competitor, or you're like willing to do anything to win, and now that translates over here. Now we get to translate that energy onto our salespeople, which are going to translate it over to our customers, and it just keeps going, man. It's such a blessing to be able to set the standards, like you said, and let them kind of run with those standards and continue funneling them down. So it's so fun. I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
sure putting in the work and finding the right people will for sure be able to hit that number. God willing. Mm-hmm.
100%, man. 100%. Well, dude, Manny, I'm just so freaking proud of you and Patty and all your growth. And dude, it's such a blessing to have you guys as friends, and just seeing how much you guys have leveled up and are going to continue leveling up. And brother, at PaintCon next year, I'm excited to bring you up on stage, and I want to hear your testament of how you smoked 2.5 and you freaking blew that record out of the water, man. So
That's gonna
yeah,
be
man.
that's gonna be the goal, bro. That's gonna be the goal. To me, PaintCon came at such a good place, and it was so cool that it was the first one last year, right?
2024 was the first one. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so last year, yeah, it was the first one
Yeah.
last year. So it was so cool to be able to start like fresh with because we're tied on now. Like we're locked in. We already bought our tickets for next year too. We're gonna be there. I know, God willing, right? As long as we have health and stuff, but. It's so cool to be able to start my company at the same time you're starting yours, because I can literally say like, hey, I've been rocking with Lucas and Forward Media since the beginning. Like we're there when we said, hey, we're gonna win an award, and then the next year, when God willing, we win the next award, and just continuing to be a one of your proven companies that Forward Media freaking works. You know what I mean? Like it actually works as long as you do what you're supposed to do on your end. Forward Media is gonna do what they do on their end. And together, dude, it's unstoppable.
I love it, dude. I love it. Yeah, man. We're gonna freaking break some records next year, Manny. I'm so fired up.
That's the goal.
Awesome, brother. Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. And dude, if anyone wants to get in contact you, what would be the best way to do so?
Yeah, so you guys could check us out on our socials at 47 Painting period INC 47 Painting Inc. That's how we're on Facebook, on Instagram, which are our two main platforms. Yeah, reach out to us if you guys have any questions about working with Lucas or how they carry themselves, or absolutely anything. We've been through it all, from being an apprentice to lying, to getting into the painting, and now owning a business. We've been through every stage of it. We don't know everything, but from our experience, we'd love to share our experience with anyone that's out there that would like to hear it, or is kind of stuck in a similar scenario. I'm always open to giving any advice that I can give on how we've been continuing to elevate and getting out of certain situations. So reach out to us, follow us on there, and just continue to put in work. That's going to be the best phrase I can tell you for you guys to scale up your business and scale up your life. Keep putting in that work.
Amen, dude. Amen. It's never easy, but 100% is worth it every single time.
Yeah, no, and again, I
Love
would
it,
just
dude.
want to say from the heart, honestly, Lucas, this company that you built, at least with my family, you changed our lives completely. I saw a couple others that were there at PaintCon that honestly were giving you guys like those hard hugs and stuff, and I can tell that you've changed their lives too. So you should be really proud of yourself, man. This is you're changing lives like 100%, and without even really experiencing what those people are feeling at home. Like, we have so many conversations here about you and your team. Sam, super nice guy, and like, you guys don't hear about these conversations, but we all express our gratitude towards you and your company. What you're building is amazing.
Thank you, brother. Dude, that means so much, man. And that's why we do what we do, dude. It's like I was saying, it's like it's the impact that I love. That's what fuels me, man, is like when you tell me like, dude, we got a new car, we just brought on a new crew, we just got a new shop, we just, broke a revenue record. I'm like, for me, that's what fulfills me, dude. It's not the revenue. It's literally about the impact and
Well,
changing lives. And dude,
to be honest,
I've been telling Joel, like,
you're doing God's work,
pardon?
bro. I'm saying it's just, to be honest, like, you're doing God's work. Like, you're literally blessing every single one of us that's been working with you. Like, it's crazy, because if it wasn't for that company that you have, we would be looking at a shorter amount of leads that would lead us to making different decisions than what we're making now. But because we're able to see more leads and have more possibility, at the end of the day, leads are possibilities. You're giving us those possibilities, and that's God's work, bro. So honestly, thank you.
Thank you, brother. Dude, that means so much, Manny. Love you, brother. Dude, yeah, guys, reach out to Manny. He's himself and Pat are just such genuine, great people. And we'll drop the link to Manny's Instagram below, but definitely reach out if you have questions. And yeah, dude, Manny, I'm just so freaking proud of you, brother. Love you, man, and keep crushing it. And I can't wait to see you next year. And just, yeah, right, you just freaking fire me up. You're like you're just such a good dude, man. And
We got that. We got
I
that
said it
fire
before,
going.
dude, but
Yeah, we got that fire going, bro. We're gonna continue rocking with you guys and continue, putting in work. And I know you guys are gonna do the same on your end. And together, bro, again, it's unstoppable.
the 2026 takeover, baby. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, bro. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, man. And I'll catch you soon.
All right, sounds good. Lucas, take care. Shout out to the whole Forward Media team.
Let's go. Thanks, bro.